Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Well Regulated Podcast. This is episode number 8, and I am Deep South EDC. Today's episode, we got some interesting stuff coming out of New Mexico, where I currently happen to live right now. So let's just jump right into it here. So looks like we got some New Mexico National Guard activation. So this is from a local news source here, KOAT Action News 7. So this story is from today, earlier this morning. New Mexico National Guard activated to help Albuquerque police in fighting crime. So looks like we got some video here, so we'll play that in a second. I like when these news stories come with a little video clip, so it makes things a little bit easier on the voice, if you know what I mean. Don't have to do so much reading, but we'll glance through the story. Sometimes there's some extra info, so let's get into it.
Grisham announcing the National Guard will soon help Albuquerque police officers.
Elia Chavez is learning more about that action.
That's right. The governor declared a state of emergency today in Albuquerque, saying serious violent crime is part of the reason for this action.
Our officers spend a lot of time on scenes that they don't need to.
APD Chief Harold Medina saying crime rates are down in 2025, hoping National Guard personnel will help even more.
We have officers parked guarding violent crime scenes for up to 6, 8, 12 hours.
A Tuesday emergency order signed by Governor Michelle Grisham, freeing up to $750,000 to the New Mexico National Guard, allowing between 50 to 100 personnel to assist APD officers.
They will not look like police. They'll look like Guard. We don't want people to mistake them for police.
There is not going to be anyone with weapons. There's not going to be anyone in fatigues. There's not going to be any military vehicles. What this is essentially helping as public service aids, as PSAs.
Troops will help control traffic around accidents, monitor buses, provide prisoner transports, and assist with other duties. Will they wear body cameras?
I would assume they would, because they'll be in transporting, but it's a good question.
National Guard troops will deploy to Albuquerque in mid-May.
There's been a lot of thought put into this. That's why it's not starting immediately.
And for how long?
We're looking at 6 months to a year. It is not a temporary action.
Medina saying APD currently has around 850 officers and another 50 in training.
And I just don't want this to turn into like oh my God, the National Guard is here to save the city. No, the National Guard is here to help clear up officers.
The governor told me today in 2019, she also sent a large group of state police officers to combat crime along I-25 and I-40. Reporting downtown, Elia Chavez, KOAT Action 7 News.
Training is already underway for the National Guard personnel scheduled to help.
All right, so we got that. So the governor has activated the National Guard to help support APD in fighting crime. This says there'll be 60 to 70 guardsmen present, and they will help Albuquerque Police Department with the following areas: scene security and traffic control at critical incidents, medical assistance and humanitarian efforts along Central Avenue, prisoner transport unit assistance, transit security enhancement, Metro Court security support, aviation sunport, airport security assistance, shield unit case preparation support, and APD drone program operational assistance. All right, so scene security and traffic control. So they're going to be standing guard at the caution tape at the perimeter. We got medical assistance and humanitarian efforts along Central Avenue. So they're going to hand out water and food to the homeless people along Central. I think we could use our National Guard for a better resource than that. Hey, I thought Albuquerque had those social workers, like they defunded the police and got those social workers. Isn't that like one of those jobs that those social workers should be doing? Another thing that was interesting, let's see if I can find it. The mayor, Tim Keller, said that they're not going to be in uniform, not going to like what he said kind of didn't make sense to me. So I want to listen to that again.
Take them for police.
There is not going to be anyone with weapons.
No
There's
weapons.
not going to be anyone in fatigues.
No
There's
fatigues.
not going to be any military vehicles.
No military
What this
vehicles.
is essentially helping as public service aids, as PSAs.
So are they going to make them wear the little pretend cop uniform and drive around those little pretend cop trucks? I don't know. It seems odd. We got some more local sources here. Let's see. This is KRQE. Nope. This is KOB4. They got a video too. This is New Mexico governor authorizes deployment of National Guard. We got to listen to the ad real quick. Anyway, well, that's rolling through. Everybody, make sure you follow me everywhere at Deep South EDC. I got a link tree. I'll post that in the description, and just make sure you're following me everywhere. All right, here we go.
I can guarantee you, as I leave from here right now and get in my car, I'll see crime on the way home.
The governor has to do something about it because people are just unhappy. Like, we're unhappy with how much crime there is.
Might be fitting to have troops in the war zone.
Good evening, New Mexico. I mean, does that sound like you?
All right, we have an area in Albuquerque, New Mexico that is called the War Zone. Let's listen to that again. I don't know if there are a lot of you that are familiar with the Albuquerque area. I was raised in Albuquerque and then moved to Louisiana for a while and just moved back. But yeah, the War Zone, it's a thing. It's been a thing for a long time.
The governor has to do something about it because people are just unhappy. Like, we're unhappy with how much crime there is.
Might be fitting to have troops in the war zone.
Good evening, New Mexico. I mean, does that sound like the conversations you have about the crime in Albuquerque? It's a problem. And now the governor is taking a very unique approach in fighting it.
Today, we learned that she has declared a state of emergency here in Albuquerque and is now deploying the New Mexico National Guard to assist Albuquerque police. Now, the three areas where city leaders say they need the most help are concerns that we've investigated and brought to you in countless reports by now. One of them, the fentanyl crisis, also juvenile crime, and the Central Corridor.
We had a lot of questions.
Even this guy's fed up with it.
In this decision, and we got some answers today. So let's start with our night
Some
beat team
BTS
coverage with Cassie Foote. And Cassie, this order clearly lays out what the National Guard will and won't do once they're here in a few weeks.
Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina says they need every single police officer to be on the streets making arrests and deterring would-be criminals. He says some of his officers are spending hours tied up at crime scenes or crashes. The plan is for the National Guard to take over in those situations to do supportive work, freeing up officers.
I want to know like what the issue is with this police PSA police service assistant situation is, because why aren't we using more of those? You know what I mean? They say in that last story, they said that they're going to be used as those. So where are all of those? I guess if they're having a hard time hiring police, they're going to have a hard time hiring fake police as well, one would imagine.
For example, traffic control at major crashes and securing crime scenes, responding to medical emergencies like drug overdoses, and giving food and water to our homeless. Chief Medina says having the troops to help de-escalate volatile situations is crucial. Also, prisoner transport. Troops will get inmates from officers and take them to the Bernalillo County Jail to free up police. They'll also be helping with security on city buses, in Metro Court, and at the Sunport, along with paperwork and drone footage of incidents.
So they want them to run security on the city buses, which are pretty dangerous. Probably just as dangerous as the buses in New Orleans. And they want them to run security on the buses, but you have the mayor of Albuquerque saying that they're not allowed to have weapons. Sounds pretty messed up. Sorry, my homies, my brothers in the National Guard. You can't even defend yourself from these crazy people. Putting you guys in the lion's den.
Again, Chief Medina laid out 3 reasons in his letter to the governor as to why police need this help from the National Guard: the fentanyl epidemic, juvenile crime, and overall crime along the Central Corridor. Now, we reached out to state senators and representatives, along with Albuquerque city councilors who represent that area. Councilor Nicole Rogers did not respond to my interview request. Councilor Pena says she supports sending troops to Albuquerque. And Councilor Luis Sanchez pointed to Mayor Tim Keller's failure as a leader. Now, it is important to mention Sanchez is running against Keller to be our next mayor. So out of 5 state lawmakers with districts along Central, I only heard back from 2. State Senator Mimi Stewart said she was not available for an interview today, but I did get to speak with State Senator Antoinette Cedillo Lopez. Her district includes Central from University to San Mateo, and here's what she had to say about the National Guard moving in.
I think there were a lot of residents in my district who are very concerned about crime, and I'm glad that the National Guard is coming in a supportive role to help a troubled police department do its job effectively.
I asked Senator Cedillo Lopez if she has done anything to help with public safety along Central. She pointed to a bill she co-sponsored this past session to increase punishment for human trafficking. It failed. I also asked her about juvenile crime, since Chief Medina says it is fueling this crime crisis, and we have seen leaders pushing to reform the Children's Code to hold juveniles accountable. Senator Cedillo Lopez says she believes juveniles should be rehabilitated, not criminalized. We know between 60 and 70 National Guardsmen and women will be deployed here, but it won't be until mid-May. They have to go through training first. A spokesman for the National Guard says most training is in a classroom at the New Mexico National Guard Readiness Center in Santa Fe, and the training they're receiving is similar to that of APD's public safety aides.
So right out here in the parking lot, sometimes you can hear.
All right. So there you go. I see so many parallels between New Mexico or Albuquerque and New Orleans, really, in this situation. Like in New Orleans, we had the state police coming in and helping, giving relief, except the state police are actually able to enforce, arrest, do things that police would do, and that actually you could actually feel the relief in the city there because of it. I'm not sure about this situation though. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I mean, the parallels and the incompetence of the city leaders are there. Like it's just crazy. These are 2 of the top cities that have the highest crime is New Orleans and Albuquerque, and yeah, it's just not good. Let's check out this other one. All right, this is the same story we saw earlier. So let's go to this one. This one's from the Daily Caller. So I saw this one earlier, and let's read this. Democratic governor deploys National Guard to sanctuary city over, quote, fentanyl crisis and juvenile crime. New Mexico Democratic Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham recently approved the deployment of the state's National Guard personnel to support Albuquerque, a sanctuary city reeling under criminal activity. Grisham signed an executive order Monday declaring an emergency in the city of Albuquerque, authorizing $750,000 in emergency funds for the National Guard, ordering the service to provide, quote, military support to civil authorities. The order came in response to an emergency request from the APD, which said the, quote, fentanyl epidemic and, quote, juvenile crime require, quote, immediate intervention on March 31st. The governor authorized 60 to 70 National Guard personnel to be deployed in the city in mid-May, according to a statement released Tuesday. The safety of New Mexicans is my top priority. By deploying our National Guard to support APD with essential duties, we're ensuring that trained police officers can focus on what they do best, keeping our communities safe. This partnership represents our commitment to addressing the fentanyl crisis and juvenile crime with every resource at our disposal. National Guard personnel are training under the supervision of the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Public Safety, State Police, and APD, according to a press release. This, quote, strategic employment will support the city in several areas to improve quote, to quote, improve public safety and quality of life for Albuquerque's residents by addressing immediate needs while working toward long-term solutions to the city's most pressing public safety challenges. Quote, the National Guard will serve as a visible, trusted presence supporting law enforcement duties, which will enhance officers present in high crime areas and reinforce community trust through visible engagement. Albuquerque reaffirmed its status as an immigrant-friendly city during President Trump's first term, which meant the city agencies, officers, and employees were barred from inquiring about anyone's citizenship or immigration status, or use city resources to facilitate the enforcement of federal immigration law. It's more important than ever not to only reaffirm our commitment to our immigrant brothers and sisters, but to go further and strengthen that commitment, the city councilor said at the time. Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller said in November 2024 he's very concerned about Trump administration. All right. Trump has taken a stance against illegal immigration and illicit drug trafficking across the U.S. border, enabling immigration officials to take decisive action to remove any criminal immigrant illegally residing in the United States. New Mexico, which shares a border with Mexico, saw illegal immigration surge under the Biden administration, and the city of Albuquerque has had one of the highest rates of crime in the nation. The rates decreased in 2024. APD told KRQE News in February that law enforcement made more arrests last year than in 2023 by a 28% increase. Grissom's office and the Albuquerque Police Department did not respond to the Daily Caller News Foundation's request for comment. So there you go. Sanctuary City, do you guys think that I don't know. This one's kind of hard because if you're not enforcing laws, you're going to get crime, and it kind of trickles down. You're not enforcing illegal immigration laws, you're going to get crime with that. I know I hear all the arguments for illegal immigration, and they are ridiculous. But you have illegal activity, you're going to get more illegal activity. You have illegal border crossings, you're going to get illegal drugs. You're going to get human trafficking. You're going to get a lot of really awful stuff that comes with that. So New Mexico kind of reaps what it sows that way, and it's kind of sad to see that all of the citizens kind of just stand by and kind of let it happen. I mean, you do have that one city councilor who said that it's, the city's leadership kind of failed, but he kind of has ulterior motives because he's also running against Tim Keller. Let's see. I wanted to show you guys this real fast. So I was reading the story about this state police officer here in New Mexico that was arrested for stealing from the National Guard. So here we go. Whoops. All right, here we go. Ooh, video. Let's go to this, and then here we go.
More boxes, more options.
Gotta watch the ad first. Anyway, so this should be interesting since these are the people that they're deploying.
Locations. We start looking into.
What is this? I didn't want this. The weather? No. I want this one.
More boxes, more options. Grainger has over 1,700 box types in stock, and
All right, let's
All
try
of
it
this
again.
comes as investigators arrested a New Mexico state police officer for allegedly stealing from the New Mexico National Guard Armory in Las Cruces. State police investigators say Officer Santiago Pacheco is also a sergeant with the National Guard. They claim that he and another soldier were doing inventory earlier this year and stole 3 pairs of night vision goggles. Pacheco is now on administrative leave. He's facing multiple felony charges.
So right out here in the parking lot, sometimes you.
So there you go. These are the people that they are activating to help the police. Police Albuquerque pretty much is corrupt state policemen. Hopefully not all the National Guard are like that, but that one happens to be a piece of shit. So this guy we're trusting our state's safety with, our city's safety with, and they're a bunch of thieves. You know, this guy's even state police. Okay, so what if this state police, let's say he wasn't a thief, let's say he was just a regular state policeman, and he's also in the National Guard, and he gets deployed from the National Guard to help APD. I feel that's less effective than the state police coming to help. You know what I mean? It's like taking one policeman, stripping away his weapon and all of his powers, and then sending him off to go stand in front of police line tape. Like, it doesn't make sense. There are definitely things that can be done different here. It's kind of depressing. I don't live in Albuquerque. I live in a suburb. I live in the most conservative city in New Mexico. So I luckily don't have to worry about that too much yet, although I do see Albuquerque creeping up here. I definitely see the crime creeping up here. I see the homelessness creeping up here. I see a lot of stuff that you know, I was trying to avoid by moving out of New Orleans and not moving back into Albuquerque. So it's kind of getting rough. Like I always say, you're your own first responder, especially now when we have corrupt state police, you know, stealing essentially from the people of Albuquerque. And also, you know, doing more harm. These guys are supposed to be activated. You're stealing their gear so they can be less effective at the job that you probably could have helped improve. Like, it just doesn't make sense. The police are corrupt. Fire them all, start all over. Like, I don't know what to do. Have it all run by like sheriff offices. Don't have police appointments. You need to have like the heads of all of the police departments like they do with the sheriff's office and elect them. That way they are accountable to the people and not the mayor and not the governor. APD is just the mayor's thugs, and the same with state police. When communist puppet Governor Lujan Grisham, she tried to ban guns in all public spaces in Albuquerque under the guise of a public health order, like a virus or something. And APD came out, and the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department came out and said, we are not enforcing this unconstitutional order. But the state police had to enforce it because the chief of the state police is appointed by Grisham. They are the thugs of the governor. So unfortunately, that's how it goes. And unless New Mexico kind of wakes up, gets out of this blue haze that they're in, it's going to stay the same. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to improve. You had all these bills they're trying to pass for crime, and you know, hardly any of them went through. Nobody can agree on anything. Nobody gives any of the Republicans the time of day. They don't even listen to them. And things are not good. Everybody here in New Mexico, you guys need to open your eyes and pay attention a little bit, because the National Guard could be getting deployed to your town soon. and it cannot just be in a supportive role. And you really don't want the National Guard in more than a supportive role when it comes to policing the city, I guess. Unless there's some sort of like crazy emergency, like a Hurricane Katrina level hurricane, the National Guard shouldn't be out here policing the city. So where'd we go wrong, Albuquerque? Where'd we go wrong? We got to figure it out. Tim Keller, figure it out, man. I mean, figure it out. All right, let's check this one out real quick. We'll do one more before we get out of here. All right, New Mexico seizes nearly $40 million worth of meth after Trump forced action on drug trafficking. So all of this meth was about to come through the border. You can't say it wasn't, because it's all made to come to America. All of it. The meth, the fentanyl, the coke, all that comes through America. And for the last 4 years, it was really easy to get anything through, and they shut it down. So there you go. Sheinbaum announced she would deploy 10,000 members of her country's National Guard to the border, with particular focus on blocking fentanyl. And there we go. This was all before the tariff, or during the tariff stuff when they're still talking, and they did deploy. It's clear the Mexican government has been managing and timing of fentanyl seizures. But under the pressure of Trump, it appears President Sheinbaum is willing to increase the capture of drug traffickers and drug seizures that Washington is demanding. Except in Mexico, the cartels own all the government. So it's just another whole rabbit hole to get into for another time. Anyway, guys, we try to stick to more staying well-regulated stories. So definitely explosive crime in the city that caused the National Guard to be deployed should be a lesson in staying well-regulated. Like I said, you are your own first defender. You are your own first responder, your first defender. So make sure you guys have training. Make sure that if you carry a firearm, you're trained in how to use your firearm safely and effectively, if you know what I mean. Make sure you have medical training, and make sure you carry all your kits on you. Make sure you stay well regulated. With all that being said, guys, please be careful out there. It's crazy. It seems to just be getting crazier. We have a whole summer coming up. It's supposed to be really hot, and there are a ton of people mad at the president. So with all that craziness comes more reasons to stay well regulated. Make sure you guys are following me everywhere at Deep South EDC. You can follow me on YouTube at Deep South EDC. Let's see. I want to view my profile. There we go. Make sure that you come by. We got some playlists up here. We got all the podcast episodes, stealth camping, knives, all the good stuff's there. You can follow me on X. I bring the spice. Here we go. Fun stuff is on X. Just buy a shotgun.
Buy a shotgun.
Buy a shotgun. And also, my link tree will be in the description. You can follow me on YouTube, Rumble. Follow me on Rumble, and just follow me everywhere at Deep South EDC. With all that said, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a good one. And remember, it's a crazy one out there, so stay well regulated. Peace. I got the title. National Guard deployed to do nothing.